Hello and welcome, Lynx here. Today we start of the last matches from Akua. As per usual, but the game is in the description. This might be a little lengthier. So, like, not one episode, obviously. And this also looks something on a little more serious side, so let's get to it. We are getting serious today. No laughs and giggles, actual seriousness. Tend to the smallest fire and it can melt icebergs. Yeah. The dying light. Okay, it's like an intro now. 5 PM downtown. Snow falls on the most wonderful time of the year. Everywhere people hurry from one place to another. The workday is ending. The last rays of the sun are disappearing over the horizon, dusting the city in a cloudy blue as feet scurry across the road. I'm actually really looking forward to winter. Like, I don't know, I think it's really became my favorite part of the year, especially if there is snow. If there is no snow, maybe not so much, but if there is snow, yeah. Some are rushing to see loved ones, some are buying last-minute presents, but everyone is looking forward to a warm home and a delicious meal. 5 PM on Christmas Eve, really such a busy time. Main Street doesn't seem more traffic than at this time of the day, at this time of the season. Which is why it's perfect for business. Oh, wait. Now we are going, which is why it's perfect for business. Wait, you really have a basket full of matches? I did not expect it to be basket of, like, matches. And that every single one of them is literally a single one of them. Not like in boxes. Okay, that's interesting. And dangerous. Alright, definitely a nice addition is the fact that we can see the brief. Nice. There is one group of people on Main Street who aren't in as much of a hurry. Those in the stores and those minding the stands that line the street completing last-minute deals. Poppy is one of a dozen or so vendors still waiting outside as people rush by. Matches! Get your matches here! The girl beams as she holds a bundle of matches in both hands for passerbys to see. Matches! Only 20 cents for a bundle of 100 matches! Oh, so they are in the bundle. Now that I think about it, I don't remember the last time I actually had to buy matches. Hello, sir. You look you'll need matches. How else will you start a fire in your fireplace?
Sorry, I've already stocked up on all the matches I need this season.
Well, that's one more. I'll cut you a deal for 10 cents a bundle. He looks around nervously for an excuse to leave. Finding none, he says bluntly.
No, sorry, I'm in a hurry.
The man headed his way, leaving Poppy standing with her mouth still open. Dan, I totally thought I had that sale. Well, no matter, I'll just do better and sell multiple bundles next time. Matches, get your matches here. I imagine it would be hard to sell matches just that. Honestly, I feel like it's something you buy only, you know, if you walk by it while actually doing shopping in general. And again, I have not bought matches in ages. Or I don't remember buying any, but I mean, I don't need them for anything really. Funnily enough. Anyway, light slowly goes out. Store by store as owners look up for the night. one by one until they are all replaced by the single lamp at the end of the street. A bright flickering glow, wavering in the light breeze and illuminating the snowflakes fluttering across the night. It's as should be. Kind of minimum amount of light and so on. 7 PM. Still downtown. Matches, get your matches here.
Missy, you're still here?
Oh yeah, would you like to buy some matches, sir? The lamplighter laughs and waves his own pack.
I've recovered from work. But I mean, what are you doing here? It's getting dark and the snow only looks like it will get worse.
He looks back at the lamp he just lit.
Even a light as strong as that one might not last through the night. You should be heading home, everyone else has.
Hey. Poppy looks around at the empty streets wide-eyed. It sounds like he might have hit a very bad spot with that text. He's right, there aren't many people left anymore. Only a few groups of people still walk down the snow-covered cobblestones. Partygoers late to their destination as Scrooge or to working lady shopkeepers locking up and leaving for home. Well, last time I heard the church bells ring, it was only 6 times. Surely people will still come out to see the sight.
Well, why, Missy? It's Christmas Eve. Everyone's home with their families. And you ought to be too.
Oh, right. It slipped my mind. I was just thinking how more people will be walking here tonight too. Silly me. But it's so busy yet I haven't made any sales. The lamplighter lets out a shiver and waves at her as he leaves.
Well, Missy, I don't know about you, but I'm heading home. It's getting cold. With this wind, the lamps won't light for long either. Get home safe.
Thank you, sir. It's okay. The restaurants are still bright. That means people are still celebrating. When they're done eating, they'll want to go home to a warm bed. They'll buy matches for that. She looks up at the falling snowflakes and holds her hands out, catching and melting them on her fingers as she continues her salesgirl smile. "9 PM. Still downtown. Oh, I think there is more snow now. On the ground." As the night drew on, people started leaving the restaurants as they closed for the night. A couple approaches Poppy and she steps forward with a bright smile. "Matches, would you like some?" Perhaps she was feeling bold with that one, but the man didn't have to push her out of the way. Poppy drops the bundle of matches and it lands in a pile of snow on the side of the road. "Hey, you can't sell these now!"
Then don't show them to people's faces. What are you, daft?
"Stop it, darling, she's just a girl!"
She's old enough to better better. Go home, girl.
Why doesn't anyone want to buy any matches? Don't they want to be warm? It's all I ever needed. I can't go home without selling anything. Father is waiting for money. She bends down to pick up the bundle of wet matches and sighs as the slightly wet matches stare back at her, shining with drops of water here and there. She does her best to pick out as many dry matches as she can, but they had landed flat in the snow. Out of a bundle of the over 30, she could only save 10 or so. A sudden wind picks up and the remaining matches slip from her hands, landing in a puddle on the side of the road this time. "Ah!" She lets out a second sigh. "It doesn't matter. Those were already wet." And then the wind blows again and the snow starts falling faster and harder, fluttering against her eyelashes and stinging her eyes as the wind blows them into her face. "Hey!" Poppy squints at the snowstorm and lets out a shiver as she shuffles towards a nearby alcove. "I can't see anyone out there. I can't sell anything if I can't see anyone. It's okay to take a break, right?" With that thought in mind, she takes a seat on cold, wet brick as she brushes wet hair out of her eyes. The alcove barely fit her. Some hole cut in the wall of a building facing an alleyway. It must have been used to hold firewood, but given the storm and the temperature, tonight all the wood was taken and used. "If the wood is gone, then someone is warm. I can't see much, but I can still see the main road if I sit in this direction." The entire world outside the alcove was a blistering white with snowflakes flying in every which direction. Poppy suddenly felt thankful she put herself into the alcove in time. 10 p.m. Poppy blows into her hands and rubs them together, trying to warm herself up, but she can't stop shivering.
It's okay, the storm will stop soon, the storm will stop soon. Then I'll go back out there and be able to sell more
She shivers violently, unable to finish the sentence as she hugs herself in her muscles, attempt to generate heat. Hesitatingly and with trembling hands, she reaches into her basket and rifles through until she grabs some of the stray matches she saved from the wet and discarded bundle.
It's just one. I still have so many to sell. It's okay if I use one. Just one. Just one.
Burning alone. 10:45 p.m? Question mark? Oh, the question mark was about an unknown place. Got it. A warmly lit room, a bright fire, a faded couch. Poppy couldn't help leaning her head towards the fire. Absent-mindedly, she curled her fingers towards the flickering flames. Right as her hand reached out and grabbed her shoulders. Stop! And now we are at the same time in downtown. Poppy jumped, startled by the yell that rang clear in her ears. Within the tiny flame of the match, she saw as clear as day 2 children sitting by a great warm fire.
How's this possible?
She can't believe her eyes, yet she watches as 2 tiny figures reflected in the light stand up and walk away from the fire to sit on the nearby couch. Curious at the sight, Poppy brings the match closer, basking in the warmth as she watches the scene. From the farthest reaches of her mind, a forgotten memory crawls toward the light of the match. 6 years ago, orphanage. Poppy jumped, startled by the yell as she was yanked away from the fire. They both stumbled, but only she lost her footing. The boy who grabbed her shoulder quickly caught and steadied her.
What do you think you're doing? First injuries! You shouldn't get that close! Rudy!
Rudy was a strange child at the orphanage. Unlike the other children who kept to themselves, he was constantly trying to make conversation with others. Poppy mostly watched him try to talk to others, and Rudy had spoken to her a few times, which she enjoyed, even if he was a little odd. A little too easily excitable.
I know. I was just feeling cold, so I moved a little closer to warm up. Did it look like I was going to burn myself?
Oh, I'm sorry then. Yeah, you were getting so close, I was a little worried. If the fire isn't warm enough, you should add some more wood to make it burn brighter.
I see. Do we have more wood?
No. Oh, I'll be sure to buy some more tomorrow morning.
Alright, you got a job at the factory recently. But you're spending your money on us. Shouldn't you spend it on yourself?
How can I possibly spend money on myself when everyone else in the orphanage is cold and hungry? I wouldn't be able to do it. Speaking of cold, we don't have any more firewood, but we can do this instead. Oh, okay, you're moving furniture or couch closer, got it. He walked behind the couch and gave it a shove, motioning for Poppy to move out of the way as he pushed the couch closer to the fire. Okay, I actually assumed that from the sound only. Finally, he stopped when there was less than a meter of space between the couch and the fireplace.
There, now we can sit and be warm. Did you just warn me about getting close to the fire? Now we're pushing flammable things towards it.
Hehehe, it's safe when I do it, okay? He laughed as he climbed over the couch and took a seat with his legs tucked underneath him. Come sit with me.
The fire is not any stronger, the couch is further away than where I was standing. It's not going to be any warmer.
It'll be warmer if we sit together.
Okay.
Don't believe me, why don't you try sitting with me first? It will be better than standing on your own over there.
Fine.
Poppy took baby steps until she was in front of the couch and took Raddy's hand to climb over the armrest. Oof! She landed inelegantly on her stomach as Rory let go of her hand and laughed heartily.
Stop laughing, it's your fault!
Oh, don't pout. You're too cute when you do that. I mean, I mean, she's a cute girl, that's for sure. A silence spread between them as Poppy gathered herself to a more comfortable sitting position in front of the fire. She kept her gaze on the flames, afraid of how her expression would change if she dared to look at Roddy now. However, while she was preoccupied while watching the fire, Roddy looked around at everything anxiously in the silence. Finally, Rudy thought of something to say. Hey, you've been here for a few months now, haven't you? How do you like it? Surprised by the question, Poppy lifted her head to look at Rudy. Panic flashed across Rudy's eyes as he realized the stupidity of his question, and he scrambled to correct himself. Sorry, I guess anyone must have been better than this. You was still better where you were. I mean, I thought,
I lived with my grandmother. She was so warm, but one night she became cold.
Poppy bites down her bottom lip before she could say the last words. She did look at Rudy, but she was sure he understood. She had been at the orphanage for 2 months and 12 days. She counted because she didn't want to forget the day her grandmother didn't wake up.
Do you think we know when we die?
I think we do get a feeling, especially as we get older, like someone is calling us maybe.
The days before she died, she looked for my father. My mother passed away long time ago, and my father disappeared a few years ago. It was just Grandma and me.
Oh. And from what we've seen, it seems like the father returned eventually.
Grandma!
Yes, Poppy, I'm busy right now.
Doing what? Why are you looking for my father? Are you trying to send me away?
Poppy.
I got so angry at her that night, but she wouldn't explain to me why she did it. I got over it pretty fast, but I still wish I hadn't gotten mad at all. And then 2 weeks later, on the night before she died, she prepared 2 days worth of food for me and... You had so much food! Are you expecting someone over?
No, I just wanted to make sure my darling Poppy had enough to eat.
I can't hardly this much, Grandma. We ate dinner, then she put the leftovers aside and went to bed. Huh? Grandma? Where are you, Grandma?
Please.
Is someone else in the room?
She's my only grandchild. Promise me look after her. It's all I ask for.
You've always been such an annoying woman.
Grandma!
Poppy, what are you doing out of bed? You'll catch a cold wandering around this late at night.
Grandma, really sending me away after all?
No, of course not.
Don't leave me, please, Grandpa, I love you. Don't leave me.
Oh, Poppy, I love you too. I would never want to leave you.
Promise me, don't leave me, Grandma.
Why
is she looking around? Is she looking for something? I didn't see anything out of the ordinary here.
Let's go back to bed. I won't leave.
Who was she talking to? Poppy gave a shrug.
It does matter. Whoever it was didn't come to find me. I woke that morning and she was cold. Hey, Grandma! Help! Someone help! My grandma! My grandma won't wake up! She feels so cold! I ran to find someone to help. But when I found someone, all they did was take her away.
Poppy hugged her knees and rested her head on them.
Stop! Where are you taking her?
Ah, shit, she's a kid. I know how to be delicate for a kid.
You take care of the old lady. I'll try to talk to her.
Stop! You can't take her!
Look, kid, we have to. She is dead. Do you understand what that means?
Eh?
The sooner you understand that, the better you'll be able to live your life. For her good, too. She'll want to rest in peace somewhere else.
But is she not comfortable here? I'll take care of her house and everything. I can light fires and I can clean the top shelves.
Kid.
Okay, I can't reach the top shelf, but I can manage the second to the top. No one even touches the things that high, so it'll be fine. Please don't take Grandma away.
I'm sorry, but we have to.
Of course, I understand now why he had to. I feel a bit bad actually for making him try to explain that to me. In the end, no one came to find me. The stew was left uneaten and forgotten in their rush to get me out. They sent me here, the nearest orphanage.
But what happened with the apartment house? What happened with that then? I'm sorry for asking.
It's okay, this happened 2 months and 12 days ago. A long time ago. So I'm fine, I'm fine. Part of me still can't believe it. They all just left. Everyone. Mother, father, and even Grandma.
The tears stung her eyes. It took every ounce of her strength to keep them back. She didn't want to cry in front of Rudy. She didn't want to trouble him with. I'll stay with you.
Hey.
I'll stay with you, okay? I know I'm not your mom or your dad or your grandma, but you're not alone, okay? I'll be here. I'll always be with you. Why does it sound to me like that was a promise he should have not made? I'll stay.
I'm fine, I promise, but thank you.
The two of them sat there for a while, until the fire died into little embers, and Poppy remembered thinking,
It is warmer. Even the fire is nothing now, it's so much warmer to sit with someone. But in the end, he left me too.
I freaking knew it. Ah.
They're going to adopt me.
Really? That's great news, I'm happy for you.
But why? I'm old enough to find work. What would they? He trailed as Poppy ran up to him and took both his hands in hers.
What does matter? You're wanted, you have a family.
Was it too much? Was the bitterness and the sadness too evident in her voice? The tears that stung at her eyes?
No, don't you dare cry, be happy for him.
Poppy dips her head down. Even if she cries, at least don't let him see. Poppy,
I promise I'll be back, I'll come back to see you. I refuse to break my promise, I'll stay with you.
Gently, he placed a finger under Poppy's chin and lightly tilted her face to look up at him.
I'm sorry, I want to say goodbye with good wishes.
Poppy, I promise I'll come back to help you. Ooh, here we go, guys and gals. I like how the choice is like getting the burns sort of thing. Okay, that's nice. And the dialogue box also has that effect, which is nice. Let's go with I'll be waiting, yeah.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Even though today's your day to be happy, I'm crying and needing you to cheer me up again.
Rudy's expression softened and relaxed, still holding Poppy's hands in his.
It's alright. It makes me the happiest knowing
I can make you happy too.
I'll be waiting then. In the end, he never did come back. That son of a...
11 p.m. downtown. The match has long since burned out, a withered black stalk stinging her fingers as the tiny flame died in the frigid air. That happened so long ago she had nearly forgotten about him. and in her heart she found.
I miss him. I miss sitting by the fire with someone. Grandma, Rudy. It was so much better when I could sit next to someone.
When was the last time she sat with someone in front of a warm fire?
No, I can't cry. I can't get lost in these memories. I have matches to sell. No one will buy matches from a crying girl.
With a heave, she pulls herself up and out of the alcove. The snowstorm had calmed itself in the past 15 minutes. The snow still fell heavily, but was nothing like the whipping winds of earlier. Cautiously, Poppy steps out onto the road again. The world was covered in a thick layer of white, her footprints the only color painting ground as she steps out. She almost felt bad ruining it.
Matches for sale,
she says, but it was barely a cry. Her voice, barely above what she'd use for a soft conversation. She moves a brave into the night, watching as it dissipates into the air. Down the road, the single lamp had been blown out by the storm, but the streets were still bright, snow reflecting light from the sky. Poppy lets out a shiver, and, not seeing a single soul out on the street, decides to return to the alcove.
There may still be more people who'll come by later. It's just snowing too hard. There must be more people. I haven't sold a single match yet. I can't go home if I haven't sold any matches.
Dissipating heat. Can I just say from that picture a moment ago, her fingernails are nice. Poppy handles in the alcove again, rubbing her head to warm up from venturing out into the streets. As the storm picks up again, Poppy searches through her basket and pulls out another stray match from earlier.
I shouldn't. It's something that can eventually be sold, but...
She can't help but remember the vision from the last time she struck the match. She's still alone out here, but the idea of being with someone again was too much of a draw.
Even just 5 seconds, I want to see you again.
She strikes the second match. Wasn't it the third one? But what greeted her was not the image of a pale blue orphanage with barely enough heat to warm half its occupants. Instead, it was a grand and wonderful feast spread out on a sturdy wooden table before her. A decorated candlestick stood at the middle of the table, casting a warm glow to the food in front of her. For a moment, Poppy was speechless at the sight before her. She hasn't seen a meal this extravagant in years.
Not since father.
Her thoughts trailed off as the very person she thought of appeared in the scene before her.
Eat up, Poppy, it's all for you.
And unintentionally, the tears started slipping from her eyes.
You were so kind, father.
5 years ago, orphanage.
Poppy, come with me.
Poppy looked up from the weathered and torn pages of the picture book she was flipping through and saw the fringe of her caretaker's dress disappear around the corner. Was she in trouble for something? A caretaker usually only called a child into her office if they were in trouble for something. And everyone had heard the wails that come from the office when that happens. Yikes. So as Poppy followed the caretaker out of the living room and into the office, a number of dark thoughts brewed in her head. What sort of trouble was she in? Did she do something wrong? She normally kept to herself, especially after Rudy left. She had no one to talk to, no one to bother, and no one to offend. But when they arrived at her office, she was surprised to see a familiar-looking man sitting at the chair across from her desk, sullen and nervously gripping his hat between trembling fingers. He was dressed modestly, clothes faded and worn, with stains stepped too deep and too long to be washed out. Poppy could spot various nicks and cuts on his face, his beard unevenly shaved.
Is this head?
Poppy? Poppy's eyebrows raised at the sound of her name. Seeing her reaction, the man stood and started towards her, making her stumble back in surprise to the caretaker.
Poppy, it is you!
Do you remember me? It's me, your father.
Father.
At that word, the pieces started clicking together. The familiar face that resembled pieces of her grandmother and herself in the mirror, but padded together with parts of a stranger.
Yeah, do you remember me, Poppy?
It was hard to remember him. Poppy didn't have many memories of the man from her childhood. In brief glances, she saw him drinking and falling asleep by the fire, no bed of his own in one-room apartment. She saw shadows people arguing before a cloudy window. And she saw a hand on a knob as the door closed with one final bang. Yet, seeing the hope in the man's eyes, she couldn't help but feel as though she knew him too. And with a hesitant smile, she answered,
I think so.
Wrong answer.
Poppy, oh Poppy.
Poppy was suddenly pulled into a hug by the man, and for a brief moment she was stunned speechless. However, when the man started shaking and crying, she relaxed, feeling pity for him.
Poppy, I'm glad I found you, Poppy. I'm so sorry I left you.
Yeah, he did.
I never should have done it. I'm so sorry. I promise everything will be good from now on.
It's okay. Thank you for coming back for me, Father.
Ahem. Sorry for breaking up the dashboard, but I'll need you to sign some papers for Poppy's release as well as discuss payment.
He quickly released Poppy and stood up to talk with the caretaker.
Yes, of course. No cost is too great to have Poppy by my side again.
Poppy watched as the two adults walked away, leaving her in the chilly office and the lingering warmth of her father's hug. For the first time since Rory left the orphanage, Poppy found her lips tugging up into a small smile. Someone returned for her. The door opened into a small but warm apartment, brightly lit by the window that faced outward into the street.
I'm sorry it's so small, but this was all I could afford even with a loan. The entire orphanage really squeezed as much as they could out of me. But never mind that. The important thing is that I have you back. I'll definitely be forgiven.
What do you mean?
Forgiven? I'm so sorry.
What? No, don't be sorry. I purposely went to get you. I want you here. There is only one room, but you can have it. I want you to be safe and warm after all.
What? Where will you sleep?
There is a couch out there.
I mean, to be fair, that would be my approach as well. I would take the couch. I don't have a problem with that. You can thank him.
Thank you so much. You've done so much for me.
Don't mention it. And the one who went missing all these years, you deserve everything I have to give.
Poppy felt her chest tighten at those words.
Thank you, Father.
With the switch settled, Poppy's father helped move her belongings into the apartment, which weren't much. Poppy didn't own much, just a couple of sets of undergarments, 2 dresses that allowed her to swap clothes between washes, and 1 pair of shoes. Everything she had grown accustomed to. All the faded books and worn dolls belonged to the orphanage. She couldn't bring any of them with her.
I'll need you to get you registered for school too.
Really?
School. Poppy had never been to school. She never thought she'd ever have the chance to. Now, hearing that she could possibly attend made her eyes wide and steady.
Yeah, every kid should go to school. Besides, it will make you happy, right? The orphanage caretaker said you like books.
Yeah. I always like looking at the pictures. There was someone at the orphanage who would read to me.
Did they teach you how to read?
A little bit, but I didn't get far.
Well, they'll teach you in school. Although, it won't be now. They said it's far too late this semester to accept new students.
That's alright. Thank you so much for everything already. I know how to repay you.
Nonsense! We're family. You don't need to repay me for anything.
At least let me take care of the chores. I know how to read or write, but I know how to clean and cook a bit. Grandma taught me how to make a few dishes.
Oh right, you were with her.
Poppy couldn't be sure, but she thought she saw her father's expression soar.
She died, huh? It was getting close to her time, I suppose. I'm sorry I missed it.
Father, where were you?
He faltered. looking unexpectedly fearful as his lips trembled.
Listen, Poppy, I must when I say regret leaving you behind. You believe me, right?
Confused, Poppy nodded. Her father had come all this way to find her and even pay for school. Technically, he didn't yet do that, right? He paid for orphanage. Release? That sounds so weird to say, but I don't know how exactly would explain that. I mean, I myself have never had any contact with orphanages, so, you know, I don't really know much about that, you know, the inner workings of those institutions, basically. Anyway, if he didn't love her and regret his actions, why would he do all of this for her?
How many times did I believe that?
Do you believe?
I know I was sorry, horrible father. All I did was gamble and drink when I lived with you and your grandmother. And when I left, that's all I did too. I just couldn't stop. I lost track of the days and weeks. I didn't realize it had been years until I returned one night and your grandmother kicked me out.
She did?
Yeah, and she was right too. I don't blame her at all for what she did. But I guess my days caught up to me. I could barely remember anything that happened that night. Only pain. There was so much pain. So I agreed. Help! Help! It hurts! Someone help me!
He clung on the edges of the crumbly bricks in the alleyway, anything to help stabilize him. If he could just make it out to the main road, he could find someone to help him. Certainly no one would just let him suffer in pain.
Disgusting thing. Is someone there? Please help me!
He let out a grunt as he lapsed to the floor, curled up and shaking from the pain. There was certainly someone there. He could just make out a fizzy outline.
Help! I know what's happening. Please get the doctor. Everything hurts.
Of course, everything hurts when you're dying from your own bad decisions.
Please.
He reached for the hems of the person's pants, but then they quickly stepped away.
Don't touch me! Well, is this the one?
He could make out something fluttering by the person's head, but he wasn't able to tell what it was.
Listen to me carefully.
The person bent down and pulled at his collar, bringing him up to his feet.
You're going to die in minutes.
Die!
But I'll let you live if you change yourself and find your daughter.
My daughter?
You'll go look for her.
Yeah, whatever you're looking for, I'll find it for you. Please just stop the pain.
Your daughter. I will ask you to look for your daughter.
Oh, I get you. This guy must have been the one that her grandmother was talking to. And now, in the end, this guy was like, let's find the father. Okay.
I wonder why he didn't try himself.
Yes, I can get her for you.
Shh! Why I'm offering you this all? I don't want your daughter. I want you to be better to her. Can you do that? Can you do it for her?
Anything, just help me.
Turn over and you leave. Find your daughter.
The next thing I knew, I woke up alive in a hospital. I nearly died from alcohol poisoning that night. They said some kind Samaritan saw me dying in an alleyway and brought me in. Listen, Poppy, I'll be honest. I forgot all about you and my mother before that night. It didn't cross my mind to look for you. But I'm pretty sure that God was looking out for me. He gave me a second chance and asked me to do better.
He held her shoulders and knelt down before her.
He reminded me that I had you, that I need to do right by you, my only daughter. You're my only family left. Poppy, I promise I'll keep you safe.
Poppy, who had not said a single word throughout this story, had so much running through her mind. Truthfully, there was a lot she wanted to say, but she didn't know where to start. Understandable. He was at the hospital. Was he alright now? Did he really talk to God? How did he end up finding her? Did he go back to their old home? But all that came out of her mouth was,
I'm just glad, so glad you're alive. Thank God he let you come back. Thank you for coming find me.
What about thanking the doctors? There was someone else in the world who wanted her. She wasn't alone. Nothing else mattered. And that night, her father brought home the most delicious spread of food she'd ever seen.
To celebrate our reunion as a family.
Her father had said with a warm smile as Poppy stared wide-eyed at the largest amount of food she had ever seen.
What's the matter? If you don't eat, the food will get cold.
He started slicing the whole roasted chicken at the center of the table and cutting a slice to put on Poppy's plate.
This is for me. I can eat this.
Of course, I brought just for you.
Cautiously, Poppy put a fork and knife to the cut she just received and cut a portion off. Taking her first bite, she was surprised by the burst in flavor. She rarely ever had the chance to eat meat, much less something cooked so perfectly with a balanced blend of expensive spices.
It's a miracle. Do you not like it?
No, it's delicious. Thank you for buying me food.
As much as she loved her grandmother's cooking, Poppy couldn't help thinking it was the best meal she ever had in her life. Because her father certainly never provided any meal even halfway to that quality anymore. The sound startled Poppy, who jumped in surprise and looked away from the window she was polishing.
Father?
Her father sat at the table by the fire with his head in his hands.
Sorry, Pop. I didn't mean to scare you.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, don't need to worry. Well, I think we'll be fine. The truth is, second chances don't come for free, Poppy. I begged for a loan to get me back on my feet. To find you. I thought I could pay it off after finding a job, but it's not enough.
Are we in trouble?
No, not yet, but they've been quite insistent. They showed up at my workplace and threatened. I'm sorry, but I don't think I can send you to school anytime soon.
It's okay. I mind waiting until you're financially stable.
Thank you, and I'm sure if I work extra hard this month, I'll give me a nice bonus. I can buy you some extra toys and dolls then.
You don't have to, Father, but I would love, but very much.
However, she never got any new toys or the chance to go to school. Poppy jumped and skidded her chair backwards as the plate crashed on the floor, swept from the table by her father.
Father?
It's not enough, we can't keep spending like this.
What do you mean?
Do you think all this food falls off trees? Do you think money comes out of thin air? I have to work all day and I can't get buying all this luxurious food for you.
Wow, talk about being a piece of shit father. I mean, you could tell to be dude. He did not turn a new leaf at all. Poppy was stunned. She knew all that, of course. She had lived with very little when she was with her grandmother. Honestly, dinner every night was more than she ever expected in her whole life.
No, Father, I understand.
She finally found her voice.
It's fine, any food label is good enough. We don't have to eat the best.
What? No, we have to. I want you to have the best. You're my daughter, you deserve the best. You have to have the best. I'll find a way.
Okay.
You know, I think the best food is home cooked. It will be cheaper if we made our meals ourselves.
You wouldn't want to try my cooking.
I'm still not very good, but I can cook a bit. Grandpa taught me how to make stew.
Are you sure?
Wait, was he buying ready food? Or buying from like restaurants or something? What?
Yeah, I have all this time at home anyways. And if we need more money to pay back your loans, I can also do some work too.
What? No, you're far too young.
When I was at the orphanage, there was a boy who found work at this age too.
Wait, he's a boy.
So I'm sure I can do the same.
He held his chin in his hand, as for thinking deeply. However, he quickly agreed.
Alright, but nothing physically demanding. I don't want to carry anything heavy.
I'm plenty strong.
Still.
But most paying work for kids is being an extra pair of hands to help carry things.
How about you do sales?
Sales?
Yeah, don't they look for girls who do that?
Yeah, I can look for a job in sales.
But no one ever hired her. Everyone commented that she was too skinny, or too short, or didn't talk well. Oi. Wait. What was with that transition there? In the window, dude. It was this guy, wasn't it? Look, 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 look. Yeah, it's him. The food on the pill was ever diminishing. Even though they switched to making home-cooked meals, Poppy was not a good cook and her attempts created edible but untasty food. The one time she brought it up to her father, he grew irritable and Poppy was afraid to press further.
Afraid? Why am I afraid of him? He's my father. He's working hard for me. I should ask. I should be happy to be with him.
Well, the next scene contains... Guys, we are playing through this still, okay? Get ready because we are not skipping. We've seen something like this before. You know what? Now that I think about it, this game reminds me a little of Cupid. We are going to have a look. If it's too much, you will not have a look for. Poppy woke to a cold and cloudy morning. The apartment was chilly as she wandered into the living room.
Oh, no wonder it's so cold. I left the window open a crack last night.
She reached out to shut the window just as the door opened.
Father? You didn't come home last night. I was worried.
The smell was the first sign something was horribly wrong. Oh, for heaven's sake, he's drunk, isn't he?
It's all your fault!
Father?
Did you hear me, useless child? It's all your fault!
Poppy flinched as the glass broke beside her. Glass broke? Only after it happened did she realize that her father had thrown a glass bottle towards her.
What?
It missed, but Poppy fell all the same, her feet giving away beneath her in fear as her father walked through the door, kicking it close behind him and stumbling towards her.
Father, what's wrong? Please talk with...
Stay away!
Stay away! Please stay away from me!
Her brain screamed those words and took everything to prevent herself from actually saying those words to him.
Frank, what's wrong with this you? It's all your fault, Poppy. If I didn't agree to take care of you, I would have to live like this.
I mean, I guess it would be better. Because you would be no longer around.
Father, whatever it is, I'm sorry.
Ah!
Even though she saw the first blow coming and was gathering herself to mentally prepare for it, she still screamed when it hit. She landed her back, her jaws stinging from the punch, and as she was still registering what happened, pain exploded from the side of her head. What the fuck is wrong with...
Useless, good for nothing! Waste of space!
I mean, he's clearly talking about himself. The remains of the bottle were bashed over her head, the glass shattering further and leaving cuts on her face. What the fuck, man? Poppy hurriedly closed her eyes and tried to hold her hands up to protect her face, but it didn't matter. The glass still found blood, scratching cuts across her palms and hands.
Start over! As if it's that easy! Just take out a loan, you'll find a job and pay back! Work hard, LA, pay with more! All of this just to feed you! I can't even sleep in my own bed anymore!
Dude, you offered yourself! Shut the
Shut up, they'll call me dead! I never want a useless ragdoll like you!
Poppy hiccuped. When did she start crying?
Stop!
You stop existing in my life!
The bottle had little left other than the few inches of the neck. He dropped it, hands reaching for something else on the table. Poppy heard a clatter of metal on the ground and a loud clank.
Puppy! Puppy! Wake up, please wake up! Puppy!
Poppy sputtered and gasped for air as her eyes opened to that dreary day in the apartment. Her vision cleared as she focused on her father, still smelling lightly of alcohol and with tears in his eyes.
Puppy, oh puppy, thank God, you open your eyes!
She shoved away, rolling as far as she could away from him, which wasn't much as she hit the back of the sofa.
Ow.
A towel dropped from her face, and her hands and face ached as she tried to push herself up.
Oh, no, Boo. You'll start bleeding again.
You what?
She looked at her hands, which were now bandaged poorly up to her arms. They didn't have many medical supplies. This must have used up everything.
Here.
He lifted the towel, which was slightly printed with her blood, and moved to hold it against Poppy's head. She instinctively leaned away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Her father dropped the towel and looked away, and to her surprise, she watched tears drip from his eyes.
Please forgive me.
Don't forgive him.
I didn't mean to. Don't. Honestly, sorry. I just wanted to one drink.
That was not one drink, okay?
Props, it won't ever happen again.
Don't believe that guy.
Poppy, you have to believe me.
Don't! Don't! Whatever nasty feelings she held, clawing at her stomach, telling her she should run, she swallowed down and forced herself to smile.
Run for... Of course I believe you. I forgive you.
After all, she didn't have anyone else.
Thank you, Poppy. You're truly the best daughter I could ever ask for.
Yeah, you were singing a different tune just a moment ago. But thinking back to the day, Poppy couldn't help but wonder, who was he asking the forgiveness from? Yeah, not Poppy. I don't think it was towards her. And of course, that wasn't the last time he hit her. Oh, I knew it! 11:30 p.m. downtown. Poppy tucks a scarf around her neck. The scars from the first time have long since faded, but the bruises she covered up were fresh from last week. You are still living with this freaking monster? Ugh.
I told him cuts and bruises on my face would make me sell less. I'm glad he listened to me.
The snow fell quietly around her, the match sizzled out between her fingers.
It burned out so quickly.
She mumbles and drops it with the rest of the blackened matches in the layer of snow under her in the alcove.
It all burned out so quickly.
She buries her head in her arms.
Almost as fast as your promises, father.
He didn't change. Not one aspect of him. He stopped going to work the moment he realized he couldn't make enough to pay back the loans. What? And the money he did earn was spent on gambling and drinks. Great. And when the banker's man came to shake him, he offered Poppy as collateral. What? Family was family. Poppy was going to work to help pay off the loans anyway, so... He did... What? Dude, I mean, we know we are here in the past times. Honestly, if I was someone who would loan the money and the guy who got the loan from me was like, take my daughter instead, I'd be like, oh, you are... Dude, you are going 6 feet under. Dude, like... That father is so trash. What the heck? Wow. Like, the dude literally thinks only of himself. Like, what the freak? Wow.
Why did I ever think he was going to change? He was drunk when I left tonight too. If I don't come home with any money, he'll be angry again.
I mean... I guess it's easier said than done, but I guess don't go home. Poppy looked out in the street. The snow had slowed again, the fat fluffy flakes taking more time to fall as it drifted aimlessly in the air. There is no one out there. Why wander out? Poppy looked at the cold match in her hand. For a few seconds it had been warm, but now it was the same as everything else. Cold, silent, and lonely. Oh, wait. She's lighting up another match, so... that means there will be another story, basically. So, because of that, let's end this episode right here, right now. As I said, this will be a little lengthier than one episode. We'll see what other story she has for us. We did find out that... well... she's sort of kind of constantly left behind. First the father, then the grandma, then the little kid who was adopted. in the end he didn't return for her or anything. Actually, we don't know. Maybe he eventually got to the maybe he did went back to where they met, right? But she was not there anymore. Also, I wonder what's up with that guy that unfortunately did sort of save her father. Which clearly was not a stroke of good luck for her. Yeah. Anyway, let's end right here right now. We'll continue tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. I think this is a super interesting story, to be honest. Definitely something to take seriously. And as much as, you know, I like the games that are all giggles and so on, I also do really like jumping into something like that. Yeah. Alright. You know, like, subscribe, all that good stuff as well. In the meantime, if you want. And for now, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And hope to see you tomorrow too, when we will continue with the last matches. Bye bye.